This is Dolynny TV, and welcome to this morning's game preview ahead of a 2 p.m. Sunday afternoon game at Rogers Place against the Florida Panthers. Guys, sheesh, you know what? I can sit here and complain about the weird time, but normally when we're playing a game on a Sunday and it's not a 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock game, we're talking about an 11 o'clock game. So it's 11 o'clock right now. I'm glad to have hopped out of bed, been able to get the hair done, such as such, and hopefully be able to get ready for this afternoon's game, in which I think is a really important one against Florida, based on, of course, the trends we've already seen with the Oilers this season. So what you need to know about the Florida Panthers quickly is the simple fact that they're 4-2-4. So they've played 10 games, and they've lost 4 in, overtime or a shootout. Of course, they lost to the Calgary Flames in a shootout. Kind of weird, lost the lead, come back from behind, win in a shootout game for the Calgary Flames there the other night when we played the Washington Capitals, but is what it is, I guess you could say. And then, of course, they've got 4 victories on the year, but they've technically got 6 losses, adding up to a total of 12 points. So it's all right for us. I think, Florida isn't necessarily to say that terrible opponent, right? That this is a team that no doubt we should beat. This team's so terrible, how could we lose, right? That was said against Chicago. That was said against Winnipeg. That was said against Minnesota. Not by everyone, but in certain cases, there were a lot of loud voices saying one certain direction that the Oilers should win those games, and we've lost those games. And those are our 3 losses to this point, right? We're 8-2-1 as it sits, and I just named off every single loss the Oilers have this season, and there's only 3, all said and in for, this point of October, which is October 27th. So the Florida Panthers are the opponent today. Let's go get the lineup sheet, because, of course, what we're missing is Josh Archibald on that third line. He's out with a fractured foot for the next 2 to 4 months. Weeks. Calm down. Sorry, still a little bit tired. But it's as simple as that, right? We lose a guy, and now it's next man up. Draisaitl, McDavid, Kassian. Guys, I hope they can take a little bit of a night off here, not in terms of production, but in terms of ice time, and go out there and just breathe, relax. And honestly, if Dave Tippett wants to use them all game, what you do is you bench them in the first and the second as much as possible, and then run the horses in the third. Don't run the horses in the first and second if you get behind. Just saying. And then you've got Chiasson, Nugent-Hopkins, Neal. Guys, to me, this is the line that has to clearly step up tonight. I know, yes, okay, Tyson, you're giving a free pass to the bottom 6 again. No. What I need out of this Chiasson, Nuge, Neal line is simply that secondary production that allows you to rest McDavid, Draisaitl, and Kassian when things aren't going well, right? If you can have Chiasson, Nuge, and Neal go over the board, score you a goal, and not have to run the horses of the top line to try and generate that goal, that's a huge difference to how much ice time the bottom 6 is going to get to be impactful tonight, right? And you think about Kara, Sheehan, Patrick Russell. Guys, honestly, this line has been better than Sheehan, Kara, and Archibald all season long. So to sit here and see these guys get some more playing time, I'm really hoping something's about to break their way. And then Yurko, Granlund, and Gagne. This is going to be interesting to see, because this is a little bit more of a skill line than when you had Russell, Granlund, and Gagne together. So it's going to be fun to see what happens here. And Yurko especially getting in the lineup. Remember, Yurko has 2 assists, but he was listed as a top 6 forward when he had those assists. So, right, we got to keep that in mind. But Yurko, Granlund, Gagne, definitely kind of maybe that wild card that could get something done tonight and, this afternoon. And if they do, that's all the better, without a doubt. Defensively, we're lining up Nurse, Bear, Clefbaum, Russell, Manning, and Benning. So again, defense remains unchanged with Adam Larson out of the lineup. That's fair, that's fine. Of course, Joel Pearson's still out of the lineup as well. That's why Brandon Manning's in there. And I think the update from Dave Tippett was Joel Pearson's going to be Probably sometime, I'd imagine we'll see him. Let me go back to that Oilers schedule, because I think he kind of indicated that we'll either see him against Detroit or Columbus. So I imagine he'll be traveling on the road trip, and we'll see him before the end of the month again, which would be huge if we could get some big minutes out of Joel Persson instead of Brandon Manning. I mean, Brandon Manning has a goal, but Joel Persson can make plays, and that's one thing Brandon Manning's not exactly known for. So guys, that's your lineup for tonight's or this afternoon's game. I'm going to butcher that for the rest of this video. But what we need to know about this team going into this game is simply as such. We have beat the Washington Capitals, a 4-3 come from behind overtime victory. And it wasn't a 1-goal deficit, it was a 2-goal deficit. So that's massive for us as Oilers fans to know, you know what? The one key to this Oilers team through the first 11 games is there is no quit. And even you could say against the 3 losses, to a degree, we didn't quit. It was more to a degree we got beat. And that's going to happen, guys. In the NHL, you can't go out and win 87.5% of your games. That's just not realistic. Even the Tampa Bay Lightning didn't quite measure up to that kind of number last season. So for the Oilers to just keep the steady, even level, remember tonight this afternoon against Florida, you just got to go out there, play a clean game, get some goals, get some offense generated, and beat the Florida Panthers. I mean, realistically, guys, we're not asking much. It is the Florida Panthers. The question is, we've already said that 3 times this year, and it's burnt us. So for us, we just need to go out there, as I said, play a clean game, go out there and compete against the Panthers on every shift, right? If you're in the game every shift, you're not going to lose as long as you can run a play or 2, right? If you compete every shift and score a goal on a couple of shifts, well, if you're competing, you're not letting in goals 90% of the time. So we should be fine there. And what you did need to know about that lineup change is Mike Smith. Mike Smith will be the goalie of record for tonight against the Florida Panthers. Now, Mikko Koskinen, a good go at home so far. He's clean sheet, and I believe so is Mike Smith, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to see what Mike Smith can bring in this evening, or this afternoon, guys. Holy crap, I'm just beating myself up here. What I'm trying to find right now is the Florida Panthers website, so as I can get their lineup for you, because I want to just quickly check if Bobrovsky or their backup, I know his name, I just know I can't pronounce it without seeing it on my screen. So let's see if I can find the Florida Panthers lineups, news notes, projected lineup. Projected they will send out Sergei Bobrovsky. So guys, the Florida Panthers lineup: Huberdeau, Barkov, Dadonov, Mike Hoffman, Brian Boyle, Brett Connolly, Frank Vetrano, Dennis Malgin. Then you got Jace Hollerluck, if you pronounce that right, Dryden Hunt, Nola Chari, and Colton Sevier. And then Mackenzie Weegar, Aaron Ekblad, Mark Pizik, Anton Strawman, Keith Yandel, Josh Brown. So realistically, guys, that's not a scary lineup by any shot. Again, it's a one-line threat kind of deal, and then a defense that seems to be able to play a little bit of defense and score a few goals as well. So for the Oilers, I think, as I said, it's a clean game. Go out there and compete every shift and try to come away with the W, because this, guys, if we get a win here, remember, we have 17 points right now. If we finish the month with 19 plus points, we are way better off than we thought. Right now, a 19-point pace for the Oilers. Say we win tonight against the Florida Panthers, would bring us to, over a 6-month span, if we do 19 points every month, 114 points on the season, with 2 games remaining to try and get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 more points. So for this Oilers team, guys, I'm sorry, you know what? We were wondering, is this for real? It's an easy schedule. No way they can screw it up. Guys, they have not screwed it up. We are way on pace and then some for that 94-point magic pace that we need to see going into, the last few games in April before playoffs, right? Obviously, early. No, I'm not talking playoffs. But if we want to talk playoffs, we have to see the pace. So technically speaking, right now, we've got our 16 points. We're at 17. So we ideally need to see at least 33 to 36 at the end of November. Now, the key here is we can go all the way from 17 to 23 if we clean sweep this week ahead that is left in October. And then all of a sudden, what are we talking? Only 5 wins in November, right? We're building ourselves a chance to be the Oilers, essentially, while still being ahead of the game. Guys, right now, the Oilers in the league, this is a ridiculous stat that I don't think any of us could have predicted to start the year, because this is absolutely fantastic for us. The NHL 19-20 standings, Conference League. Well, let's get those league standings out here. The Edmonton Oilers sit in 4th place in the NHL, 2 points behind the Capitals and Buffalo Sabres. Washington has 13 games played. Buffalo has 12. We're tied with the Colorado Avalanche, and that means we are first in the Pacific Division. Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in to this morning's game preview. A rough one. See, I got this morning right. I just couldn't get this afternoon, this evening right. So, guys, I'm Tyson, Dolynny TV, up on Outta Here.